Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus, and I have no freaking idea how this has happened. So, today I'm playing against Arty, he seems to know me, and we're literally playing the exact same team. It is the exact same team, except I'm running Rancid-Cure-All, which is the kitty meme, on my men-at-arms. All they're running Protector Skite, and they're running more of an aggressive antiquarian while I'm running a defensive one, and I have Crimson Hook on the Flagellant. Now, I get to go first, which gives me choices. First things first, believe it or not, I'm actually going to stun that Abomination. The reason I'm doing this is because it's just a guaranteed stun, and it's a guaranteed little bit of damage, and they can't handle the damage as well as I can. So if I get this just tiny bit of damage advantage right from the get-go, and then start going for slams round 2 or something of the likes, it could be handy for me. It's just gonna work out at the end of the day. So second, I have to decide on a game plan, because one thing I'm supposed to do here is I guard the Antiquarian, she spams regen, and the Man-at-Arms goes Rain of Sorrows like crazy, or rather the Flagellant goes Rain of Sorrows like crazy. The problem is that I'm gonna miss the first Rain of Sorrows, so I'm wondering whether I should guard immediately, or whether I should go for a command buff first, or whether I should even go for Rejuvenating Vapours first. There's a lot of options, but I'm gonna decide on the Rejuvenating Vapours first, so I don't waste the command buff turn. And only then am I gonna go for the command. I will most likely guard the Antiquarian here and use regen and pray that the Abomination doesn't die, just using the V-Spile. Start of round 2. I don't mind taking a little bit of DOT on my Antiquarian at the moment, it's not gonna matter at the end of the day. They do have one command buff on there, so it looks like they're gonna go full on the aggression with the Festering Vapours. No point really using regen when you have Materia Pestis instead, so yeah, they're gonna go full on aggression, and I basically just have to survive long enough for the point that I out-sustain them, because I will out-sustain them in this situation, so that's exactly what I want. I get a crit Rain of Sorrows, which is very good, right? But I missed the Antiquarian on an 85, which is, you know, obviously not as good. But I guess I'll just accept it, you know. I just have to accept it and then go for the V-Spile. And I also get a Blight on the Abomination, so that's good. An extra little bit of damage. That Abomination is already taking 12 plus 9. That's 21. What's 12 plus 9? 21. Yeah, it is 21 damage, so the Abomination is going to 0, which is very, very good for me. And my Man-at-Arms is gonna guard, and there's gonna be more regen, there's gonna be more Rain of Sorrows, more of the same, and I'm gonna pray that this poor little Abomination can somehow survive this, but yeah, it's not looking good for him. The problem is that I don't have Reclaim to save him, you know? That's the only problem here. I don't have Reclaim to save him. I could guard him, but he's gonna have to save himself, I think. Of course, I'm gonna use regens to try and save him, you know? I'm gonna keep being his best friend. I'm gonna drop regens. Eventually I might shift the guards and, you know, guard the Abomination with my Man-at-Arms and use Protect Me on the Flagellant, trying to do something like that in terms of defense, and hopefully it will work. Yeah, hopefully it will work. But I think things are coming up Shepherd Doggy. This looks winnable. This definitely looks winnable. That Abomination dropping to 0 HP, my opponent not really having too much to counter it. The regen not looking good for them. They're finally gonna drop a bolster, but now I should have guaranteed hit chances on there. Should I go for them immediately? Yes! Let's go for them immediately. The sooner we get this... Whoa! The sooner we get this Abomination down to 0, the better it is for me. And look at that crit Rain of Sorrows with the Crimson Hook. Just so juicy. That's why I run Crimson Hook instead of the Crushed Hemlock. It's just as good, right? Pretty much just as good in terms of value. But Crimson Hook, you just get those crits. I'm getting really lucky with the command buffs. Yeah, I've already gotten 2 crits. That's really all you can ask for. 2 crits. I mean, what else? What else can you want? What else can you freaking want? Well, you can want this Abomination to go for a stun and fail it, which he probably will, I imagine. No, there's no way he goes Manacles. He just drops a Death Star and dies. Yeah, he wants to go Manacles on my Abomination. That's usually what people want to do in this situation, just to stop my riposte from going on the Antiquarian. But if he does that, I have a crit buff and I have Spiked Chain. There is no freaking way he doesn't drop to 0 HP. So if he does that, he's just gonna suffer 25 immediately. I will not think twice about it. So he's gonna transform and probably slam my Flagellant, which fair enough. My Flagellant is very... Oh, what? I am incredibly confused. I think that's just a throw. I think that's just a throw by my opponent. There's no world in which I can explain that. The reasoning is that they just target my Antiquarian now, but she has 95 bleed res and 60 bleed res and 95 blight res. She's pretty much a Crusader at this point with Plague Doctor, with Plague Doctor freaking blight resistance. So I really don't think that's gonna work out well for my opponent, and their Antiquarian is at their store already too, and I'm applying some very juicy bleeds to that Man-at-Arms as well. So yeah, this just looks bad. They're going for the Reign of Sorrows, but they're pushing pressure away from my Abomination, which is the character that they should be pressuring. He's the one that's eaten the most COT. Perhaps they're gonna go for Punish. Maybe Punish is the idea, but if they go too hard on that, they have two characters dropping to 0, I only have one, so I only have to drop an Absolution. I'm, just chilling. I guess you could try and make up for it with Redeem. That is one thing that I don't have here. Because of the region, we kind of have this counter synergy going, unfortunately. With, the region has the counter synergy of not letting my Flagellant ever use his healing, which is really sad, but, such is the way of the Butcher Circus. I have 23 effective HP, and I'm taking 20 DOT damage, so I will drop to 3 HP, which isn't that much. But it's just enough for me to be alive. I'm not sure if I'm gonna drop yet another Beast Spile after it. I definitely want to wait for my opponent's turns. They're gonna have to use the Man-at-Arms turn, I use the Man-at-Arms turn, then they drop to their store. They're probably gonna use Regen this turn with the Antiquarian, perhaps even to protect me on the Flagellant. Both those ideas would be very nice. I might go for a stun on my Abomination. No, they just self-heal. They just self-heal. How much DOT do I still have on there? Oh, it's almost enough, but it's not quite. Almost enough, but not quite. I'm gonna have to wait 2 rounds. I suppose I could Beast Spile into it. Yeah, Beast Spile into it seems the idea. It's going to keep my repulse up, it's gonna make it so if they go Rejuvenating Vapours, and I won't drop to their store because of the Blight. They can still roll for 3 damage here, but then they will suffer the repulse, so probably not the wisest move. And this is also another crit that I get, so that's even more damage buffs. Oh, I have 2 crits now, that's plus 40. And I still have the command buff to have an almost guaranteed hit chance on the Antiquarian. Yeah, this team, it's interesting because I hated Regen, then I loved Regen, then Regen failed completely for me again. So now I'm kind of just, where do I stand on Regen? I'm kind of in an I don't know scenario, which is odd. It's really odd that I don't know what to think of Regen in the first place, but yeah, it's sometimes it works really well. Most of the time, it feels a bit icky to play. Yeah, but sometimes it does work really well. They're gonna go for it anyway. They only hit for 2 because they're at this store, which is really good for me. They are still at this store, but unfortunately, I can go for the Reign of Sorrows, but I'm gonna freaking miss because they have 35 dodge on there. That's the only problem. I am going to miss. Almost guarantee it to you. This is gonna be a miss. I could go for Festering Vapours, which is my best hit chance at the moment. If I don't do that, they will use Protect Me. Ah, but I have to guard again. That's the only problem. You know what? Screw it. It's a 60. Sometimes you have to pray. I'm gonna go for the 60. I get a hit, and that's gonna be an affliction as well, because they don't have Tears of the Lost. I have Tears of the Lost, so I have a Virtue chance. They only have the Materia Pestis. They only have that Blight, which, is putting in some work for sure. It is definitely putting in some work, but I think I'm putting in more. Yeah, this Man-at-Arms, though, it's being very difficult to kill him. The DOT is gonna stack up immensely, of course. My Flagellant is, my Man-at-Arms is much more prepared for this with the Rancid-Cure-All. I sacrificed the kitty for to get the Rancid-Cure-All, the cat in the jar. Oh, poor freaking kitty. He's in there just a fermented cat for the bleed, blight, and debuff resistance. Wait, it says blight first before the bleed. Why? That's so weird. It should say bleed first because the E comes before the I. And bleed is more common than blight. Why does Rancid-Cure-All have the blight stat before the bleed stat? That is atrocious. Oh, it's the opposite for the defender. Jesus, get out of the way. Defender says plus 50 bleed resistance and then says plus 50 blight resistance. This one's backwards. Jeez, that is so cursed. That is genuinely so cursed. They didn't even try to save him, so to save her. So I'm gonna go for this instead. Unfortunately, they went selfish, so I actually miss. It's just that there's a death blow potential there, so I'm gonna go Festering Vapours. I should be dropping regens, but he's screwed anyway. He has to go for Absolution or just risk getting death blowed at this point. So I'm gonna... Ooh, that's gonna activate their Redeem, essentially. Which isn't too good for me, but yeah. I'm gonna go Afflicted from this too. The Affliction could be really bad for me here. I go Selfish. Oh, Selfish. Oh, Selfish, 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 Selfish. You freaking idiot. I'm preemptively calling him an idiot because Selfish is an idiot. I mean, just look at this. How idiotic does he have to be? I guess there's worse stuff for you to do than just maniacal critting the enemy abomination, right? You could have done something worse. Sure. You could have done something worse, but that is really sad. That is really sad, because he could have healed himself, because now he's just dead, right? Oh, he lives. He lives. Don't I go first? I do. I have command of into Fetching Vapours. Okay. You know what? Abomination, maybe you were right. Maybe he went for the risky move. I'm the one that's the bozo here. Maybe he's the special one. Maybe he's the genius of this team. But here's the problem. If I go for this Festering Vapours and I don't get a single kill, the Flagellum dropping to Death's Door is going to heal everyone. Oh, okay. I get it now. I'm the one with the finisher. Yeah, just antiquarian things, right? I have some crazy antiquarian RNG here today. Jesus. That is wild. Okay, the Man-at-Arms heals for a bit more than he should have. If I survive this, it's Jover, guys. I do. I even survived that. That is crazy, though. And Arty just surrenders. GG's to Arty. Who would have guessed that the more defensive regen variation would have actually won against the more offensive Materia Pestis variation? I suppose it makes sense because 3x4 on regen is, which is a guaranteed chance, by the way, is a lot bigger than 2x4 on the Festering Vapours. And since she has crazy Blight Res, he has decent Blight Res, he has great Blight Res, and I mean, he has decent with the Rancid-Cure-All, obviously, and he doesn't care about taking damage. If he takes damage, it's actually good for the team, but he's not going to be taking damage because regen just counters it in pace. This team just works really well. This is the same Chef Stress 2 I was playing before, but the only thing I changed out is that I removed the Eerie Eye that I had, and I placed the kitty, the jar kitty on there, because I saw that how could I make this team kind of DOT impervious if I use the defender with the Rancid-Cure-All, and indeed it works. This is like just a staple of defensive teams, I'd say, kind of like Septic Tank, but a bit easier to use. Yeah, a bit easier to use, a bit less brain dead as well. Easier to use and less brain dead. What are you saying, Shep? The thing about... Yeah, I'm not gonna start talking about Septic Tanks. This isn't even a Septic Tank video, but yeah, this is Septic Tank. This team looks brain dead. You just harry, you Festering, and you Reign of Sorrows, but it looks brain dead, but it isn't, because the real Septic Tank players have some crazy guard synergies. They take off some abilities to go for other ones. They minimax this team to make it look 100 times better than the people that are just green button. So yeah, anyways, hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.